Today we are going to be shading and creating value on our 5-point value scale. So I'm going to write that so that you can see it. This is what we're going to be referring to a lot throughout your process of drawing. So if you look at this, it goes from dark all the way to light. So this is absolute black, and then this is all the way to white. There is no value on that. So you can go ahead, and sometimes I like to label them just so that when I'm referring to that I can see. So it's a 5-point value scale, and that 5 of these have value. So you are going to be shading each one of these boxes below to match the value above it. So the 0 one obviously is white. You're not going to be adding anything to that. But for the 1 through 5, we're going to be shading to match that value. So for the 1, you guys will be filling up the entire box, but I just want to be able to show you quickly each one. So when I'm shading, I like to shade on the side kind of my pencil, hold it more towards the side rather than up and down. It's easier for me to control and for me to go lighter. And so as you can see, the 1 is the lightest one. So I'm going to leave that how I have it. You will fill up the whole square, but then I'm going to move on because I can always make one darker. So for my next one, I'm going to start shading. And when we're creating our value scale, we are not pressing any harder to make the darker value. Instead, we are just using layers. So we're just staying in the same place for longer. So as you can see, this one is a little bit darker than the first one. So you're going to continue that on. I'm still not pressing any darker. I'm just continually going over the same spot. We did this with our colored pencils to create our shading and make it darker. As I said, for you guys, you will fill up the entire box. Once you get to the darkest values, I'm just using a number 2 pencil, which is what you guys will be using. Once you get to the darkest values, you can add as many layers as you possibly can to make it dark, but sometimes to reach that dark, that absolute black, you might need to use the 4B pencil that will be in your kit with your pencils that we used earlier for the transfer method, because that has a softer lead that's darker. So that is roughly matching each of those values. If you notice, each one is getting a little bit darker, and if you need to make sure that they are slightly notching down in lightness or darkness, you can go back and add those. But make sure to do it in layers, because those are going to be a lot easier to erase than if you just press really, really hard with your pencil. It's going to be harder to erase. But this is what you want to complete and color in the entire box with the correct value.